Dusko, chin high, sky high, all that good stuff. And while that has been true, he's also come back to his winning ways, right? In his last fight against Maki Pitolo, who is no longer with the UFC, he put on a pretty good showing, man. First round TKO via punches. However, it was not your traditional Dusko victory. It was not your let's stand, let's box. It was let me take you down, let me flatten you out, and finish you with the ground and pound. Now, doing that to Chidi Njokuani might be his best method of getting a victory because you do not necessarily want to sit and kickbox with one of the best kickboxers in the division. So not only one of the best kickboxers, but this dude's Muay Thai is phenomenal. His UFC debut was explosive to say the least, right? So who did he get the win against? Powerbar, Marc-Andre Barriault, where he just hit him with the 1-2 and put him out. It followed up a couple punches on the ground, but that was basically it. So first round KO. Now, AJ, I wanted to ask you, in regards to Dusko Todorovic, who has more UFC experience than Chidi Njokuani, however, less overall MMA experience, do you think that Dusko is going to try to switch it up a little bit and see a little bit more of that wrestling intensive pressure that he put on a Maki Pitolo in the first fight? Do you think we're going to see that against Njokuani?
I'm not sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought if for some reason I'm remembering Dusko getting taken down and then flipping the position on Maki, not necessarily initiating the takedown. And if he did, correct me, he might have. I can't remember at the exact moment, but I don't really see Dusko being the guy initiating the takedowns, being the guy that sees the openings and then shoots that blast double. I see him more of the striking, fighting it out, and then if he gets to the ground, then we'll work from there, and then we'll figure it out. Do you remember off the top if he did or if he was taken down?
Off the top of my head, I don't actually remember with enough conviction to ensure that I'm accurate, but I will say I do remember Dusko. I think he took a shot and it failed, and then later on it just kind of got to a point where he got it on the ground, and yeah, so maybe it was a reversal. Either way, I think that some of the mixing it up is going to be what's important. I think mixing it up is going to be very important because even in his last fight, man, this is exactly what DC says. Dusko, he's looking good, but that chin is just too high, man. It's like, when are you going to learn, right? So he has only been finished once in his career, to be fair, right? To truly be fair in regards. He's 11-2. It's not like this dude's just getting knocked out all over the place. It's just what we see time and time again is he's there to be hit. And for Chidi Njokuani, who, let's be honest, brother, in his last fight, he didn't do a lot with his, he did. He did a lot with his hands, with the 2 shots that he landed. But he comes out very kick heavy. That's how he opens up the fight, right? Everything. It's a teep kick. It's a leg kick. It's a thigh kick. It's a calf kick. It's a teep kick. It's just working the kicks, using the distance management, and then unloading with the hands. But in his Dana White Contender Series fight where he got a 3rd round TKO victory, man, I thought that one was really interesting because he was able to initiate some of the groundwork. He loves getting into that clinch, using the big knees to the clinch. That's how initially he hurt De Souza in that fight, is some knees to the body, got him hurt, got on top, and finished him. And it was what it was. So Dusko Todorovic falling into that clinch might not be the best option for him. However, he does kind of have that style where he'll just sit and clash, right, instead of being evasive and just moving all over the ring. Now, if Dusko Todorovic was to win this fight, AJ, if he's going to sit there and come up with a plan to defeat Chidi Njokuani, can it be done on the feet is my question for you.
I think so. I mean, Dusko has some serious talent in the striking division. He's just little chin high. That's the only biggest problem, and he doesn't. I think why he hasn't learned that yet, as like everybody pointed out, Biz being DC, we've been making jokes for quite a while now, is because he's only been finished once. He hasn't had to suffer that loss of damn, are these dudes tapping my chin because my chin's so high? He hasn't had to actually get that one down yet. But you can see that he's learning. He's getting better each time. He's putting a little shoulder in front of it. So I do think that Dusko, the defense is kind of getting better, catching up to the offense. But the offense is so good that's where he was shining. So he didn't really need to learn those lessons. So yes, I think he can get it done on the feet. It's going to be a very long road to toll on that one because Chidi Njokuani is very, very talented on the feet. So if Dusko can mix it up, I'm with you. He'll see a little bit better going forward if he's able to mix this up. At least get Chidi thinking about a takedown, thinking that I don't want to go to the ground with this guy. But Chidi's good too, man. He's good, especially in that clinch. Those knees are heavy.
So how does Dusko close the distance here? Because normally he has a nice jab, nice right cross, right? But Chidi Njokuani has an 80-inch reach, 6-inch reach advantage for Chidi Njokuani, and he's 6'3", so 2-inch height advantage, and he uses his kicks primarily to cover distance. So your legs are normally longer than your arms. I mean, tough sledding here for Dusko Todorovic coming into trying to just sit here and outbox Chidi. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to mix it up because I just think it's going to be a long night or an early night, depending on how you look at it, if you just sit there and just try to trade with Chidi. What do you think?
Mate, that's a very hard one to see because you're right. And Chidi has a very nice jab as well. Stiff jab, good kicks up the middle, high kicks. But what I think that when I see this one happening, I think the only thing I can see Dusko doing that's kind of unconventional that would be able to get you kind of in the mix, fake a takedown, come up with one of those flexible kicks. Because if you look at this dude, he can kick you in the head when you guys are standing in a phone booth. Yeah. He has that same kind of Justin Gaethje-esque kick where you're so close that Justin can kick you in the legs. Well, Dusko can kick you in the head. Yeah. So if he can fake that takedown and throw a kick up to the head and then kind of work for that chaos, that scramble, then I can see it happen on the inside. But it's a very random and very hard thing to land if you're trying to fake a takedown and land a head kick.
Yeah, brother, I'm with you. So as much as I'm a fan of Dusko Todorovic, who is 2-2 in the UFC, I just think that this is going to be a really, really tough matchup for him, and I think we're going to see one of these. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag on here. I'm rocking with the Las Vegas native, not really native, you know what I'm saying, but the hometown hero himself right there, training out of One Kick's gym, right? Respect to Chidi. I think we're seeing a second round TKO on his behalf over Dusko Todorovic because I see one of these happening. Dusko, he's maybe Chidi's throwing a big right hand or a leg kick or something, and Dusko does a lot of this. Instead of guarding and like shielding himself, he'll just try to evade, and as soon as that chin touches the sky, boop, game over. So I'm rocking with Chidi Njokuani via TKO, and the prop for Chidi Njokuani for TKO is plus 145, which goes to show what the odds makers think. They definitely can see a finish happening. And his decision prop is plus 300. So that goes to show that's where that is. Now for Dusko, plus 500 for a TKO, plus 700 for submission, and plus 400 for a decision. So all of those are kind of long shots on behalf of Thunder, Dusko Todorovic. But like I said, I'm rocking with Chidi, second round TKO. And the over and under on this one, brother, is 1.5 rounds. So I am rocking with, I'll take the under. I'll go early second round. So who are you rocking with, brother?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. 100%. Chidi Njokuani. I went TKO, KO round 2 as well. I'll take the over. I'll go late round 2 just to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, it's funny that you said those are long shots when we got plus 1800s on the props on the earlier ones. And my big question to you before we wrap this one up: who did Dusko piss off? Because they are sending this dude to the wolves on all of his fights, man. Punahele, Gregory Rodriguez, even Daquan Townsend, man, and then Maki Pitolo too. Somebody, he pissed in somebody's Cheerios.
Yeah, you absolutely did something like that. Or, brother, this is the other big or if, or whatever you want to call it for me. I think that Dusko Todorovic, his style of fighting is so exciting in that stand up and trade with these fighters that they're like, we just have to put you in the exciting fights. And unfortunately, that means you're rolling with dudes who want to knock your absolute block off. But this is, I mean, make it or break it right here, man. For Dusko, he needs a win here. A loss wouldn't break it for him, but he definitely needs a win. So both of us rocking with Chidi Njokuani, Chidi Bang, TKO round 2. Let's